Hi folks, so in this video what we're going to be doing is completing a question here based on the topic of circles, and specifically it's a topic called circles in contact. Okay, so this is the problem we're going to be faced with here today, and it's based here, it says here, on a child's toy, and it's kind of obviously based on kind of some form of a bird. Now, as you can see then, we've got a series of circles, a circle here that has a radius of 30, but we don't have the full circle, we just have the arc. We have another one here, so if you imagine there was a circle here, like this, there'd be another circle here, radius 30, something like that. Okay, so we're just working it out. We've got another circle up here with obviously a beak attached onto it, radius 30, and then we actually have a circle here, but we can only see a portion of it. It's an arc, radius 35, but if you imagine that was going around there like that, and that circle there is touching both of these circles here as well. And then we have one last circle here, radius 65, and if you imagine there was a large circle up here like this, essentially like that. Okay, now the problem we have is, if you look at it, we've got a series of circles. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles altogether, but they only give us the center points for 3. They give us the center point of this one, and this one. We have to find the center point for this one and this one. The other problem we have here as well is, with this arc here, we also have this line here, which is called a tangent. Okay, so we have to use our tangent construction to locate that line there. Okay, and then obviously we have the beak portion to finish off the question. Now, starting off this question, it makes sense that you would kind of plan out your attack and your approach and how you would solve it before diving right in. So first of all, I'm going to locate the two center points and draw in my two circles, radius 30 and radius 30. And I'm going to find my third center point, which is from this one. You can see here there's a gap of 60 between them. And from the center point here, it's up 100 high up to here. Okay, so that'll get us that center point, and I can draw in that one. Now the question is then is how we find the center for this one and how we find the center for this one. I'm going to draw the 3 of these first, locate this point as well at the same time, which is from the center of this one, it's 150 millimeters over. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. So on your sheet, what you would start off with is a construction line. The distance between those first two centers was 60 millimeters. You just see here, 60 millimeters between this center and this center. So that's what I'm going to measure. Starting here, I'm going to measure 60 millimeters to here. Now, I've found my two center points, one there and one there. I'm going to do a vertical line. On that vertical line, I'm going to measure up 100 millimeters or 10 centimeters. Just zoom in there a little bit so you can see it a bit better. So all I've found now so far is a center point, and a center point for 3 circles, all radius 30. I'm also going to find this point over here, which I'm going to call point P. From the center of this circle, it's over 150 millimeters. It's at the same height. So what I would then do, from this point, do a construction line across. Now we'd measure 150 millimeters or 15 centimeters. And as I said, we're going to call that point number P. Okay, so just zoom out there a little bit. Focus that a little bit better on our screen. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in those circles there of a radius 30. So I'm using a red pen for my construction lines, and I'll go over the detail later on in a marker. So I will get 30 millimeters on my compass. You literally take it like this, from there like that. There's the 30. And then using the center points, the 3 center points, because they're all radius 30, I'm going to draw in a circle. I've got another circle here at this center point. And then I have another circle up here. Taking it one step at a time. All radius 30. Now, the next thing we're going to do, having drawn our 3 circles, if I just zoom in here, we have now drawn circle, circle, and a circle. The next thing I'm going to do is get a tangent line here from point P connected onto this circle here. And we would hopefully have covered this in class. So how do we get a tangent? There's a couple of steps involved. We want a tangent line to connect to here. Okay, the method is from P, connect P to the center of the circle you want to get the tangent to, because that's P is where the tangent is starting. Connect that line there like that. What we're going to do with that line now is bisect it. So put your compass point on P, pick a distance greater than halfway of the line, so about there. Swing an arc above the line, below the line. Then put your compass on the other side of the line, swing an arc, and swing an arc. Where the two arcs cross one another, where the two arcs cross, and connect those, and that now is the middle of my line. So just lighting there, apologies. There we go. Now that I've found the middle of the line, what I want to do is put my compass on the middle, pencil point to the center, or pencil point to P, it's your choice. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to swing a semicircle. Now you don't have to swing the full semicircle, but I will do it for the purpose of this video. Swing a semicircle from there all the way around to here. But what's helpful really, and the only bit we really needed, was this arc here. So the distance from the center to there, where this arc, the semicircle, cuts through the circle radius 30. That point there is my tangent line. So I can now connect, actually draw that in. And there's the line. So we have now found this line there by using that tangent method. Connect P to the center, bisect that line, and then from the center, using your compass, swing an arc, semicircle, and where that semicircle cuts through is your tangent. Now at the bottom here, I've also got an edge there. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to take shape. I've got this, I've got this. So now we're on to this first one here. So if I just zoom in there. So what we have here is a tangential circle. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of, I suppose, sense. Okay, a little bit of common sense. So I know the center point is somewhere along there. If we imagine just for a second that that was our center, let's say that's our answer. We know that the radius of this circle here is a radius of 35. We know that the radius of this circle is a radius of 30, and likewise with this circle, it's a radius of 30. If I was to connect the centers between all three circles, connect this one and this one. I won't connect these, you can see they're kind of connected already. I want to calculate that distance from there to there. So that distance is, we already know the distance from here, the radius, we know the distance from here to here, which is 30, and we know the distance from here to here, which is 35, because that is the radius of the two circles. That means if I use my compass and I get an arc of radius 65, where did I get 65? I added 30 and 35, and I'll swing an arc. That arc, somewhere along that arc, has to be the center. Now the same principle will apply to this one. This one has a radius of 30 to here, and then the distance from here to the center is 35. So from this circle, if I swing an arc radius 65 once again, where the two arcs cross each other will help determine to me the center point. Okay, so that's how we figure out that one. If we come up here to the top one, once again, imagine the center is here. We know the radius of this one, it's a radius of 65. Okay, if I was to connect this point here to this center, because that's the one it's touching, what is this distance? Well, it's a radius of 30. What is this distance from here to the center? It's a radius of 65. That means if I add 30 and 65 and I swing a distance of 95, by adding 30 and 65, that distance there is 95. Somewhere along that arc is the center. And from P, because P is on the circumference of the circle, if I swing an arc radius 65 from P, where the two arcs cross each other, will give me the center point. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there now. So just zoom out there. So from this center point, I'm going to get 65 on my compass. So taking the distance from 0 to 65, and from this center point, from this circle, swing an arc, and the exact same from this one. I have now found the center of a circle, radius 35. Now that I have that center, I'm going to draw in by connecting Just connect the lines first of all, because my radius will be the distance of 35, but that's the distance that I want from there to there. Now, before drawing it, I would always check that it's matching up with the other side, and you can see here when I draw the arc in, quite happy with that. It's after working out. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same up here. So the first one I have is a radius of, I'm going to go with the radius of 65. So take the distance from there to there. Just make sure it hasn't slipped. There's my 65. Swing an arc from P. Somewhere in there is going to be the center point. And from this circle, which it touches, it's 30 plus 65. So the distance I have to get is 95. There's the 95. Swing it from this center. And there we go. That there is my center point. Now that I've found the center point, the distance is from the center to P is my radius. And that should hopefully just touch the circle there. And I'm happy with that. There we go. That there is that portion of it done. Now the last thing we're left to do then is just the beak portion. To complete the beak, from the center of this circle, you can see it goes off at an angle of 45 degrees, and we also have a tangent line here. Let's put in TAN. And that tangent is perpendicular to the 45 degree line, so it's going 45 degrees the other way, and it's out a distance of 70. So, just to complete that, before we heavy it in fully, what we're going to do is from the center point of this circle, go 45 degrees this way, our cuts here, go 45 degrees down, and somewhere along there is where the beak ends, and where the beak ends is 70 millimeters out from this line. So the way I'll actually do it is I'll do a line out like this, and I'll measure 70 back to 0. After I made that little mark there, do a line up where it hits there, do a line across, and there we have it. You can actually see the logo there. All I have to actually have to do is heavy in the various curves. I'm going to put those in now as best I can using this marker. So starting with the bottom one, that will go heavy to there. This one, go heavy to there. And I have this one here. Keep all the 31s first of all. To about there. I'll do the inside one. So those are 35 just to there. And now I've got the 65. You can see the shape taking. All these lights are just going out there now. Okay. And the last little bit I want to do, maybe in the horizontal line, the 45 degree line, and tangent line. And then the baseline. And as you can see there, guys, I'll just turn on the lights there again. Apologies. Okay, as you can see there, we have now completed our bird logo just by using the additional radiuses added together to find our center points, which is really important here. We found this center point and this center point. This center point was found with a radius of 65 arc from here, and a radius of 95 from here. Okay, this center point was found by swinging a radius of 65 from here and a radius of 65 from here. Okay, and that's how we did it. And also we did the tangent part of the question. So that's that question done there, guys. I hope you found that helpful. That is a question based on the topic of solids, or sorry, not solids in contact, circles in contact. Okay.